Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Game of Thrones episode of Iron Panther Presents. Today, we got Kim back, we got Sparker. We say goodbye to House of the Dragon. With season 1, episode 10, which aired last Sunday, but we are reviewing it now. Give you time to process it, and for us to say what happened, why did it happen, and what does it mean? What does it mean in the big scheme of things? Let's find out. Kim, what did you think of the episodes and this finale?
It just was a lot. I kind of watched 7 to 10 all yesterday and this morning, so it was a lot. I mean, I thought it was pretty. It was okay. I thought it was pretty okay. Like, I didn't expect the ending, where Jazz was like killed. I mean, what's his name? What is his name? The cousin that got killed by Aemond.
Aemond.
Yeah. Is the cousin named Jazz? I can't remember.
He's dead. All right. It doesn't matter. So Rhaenyra's son didn't make it.
He's the second youngest.
That's it.
I'm sorry. He's the second oldest. He's the second.
Yes, he's because he's one of the strong. So he's the
and the little baby was there, and then the other two babiers we didn't see.
Yeah,
Damon's kids.
Damon's kids. We have no clue where the hell they're at.
I guess they're still in the nurse room because they're little toddlers.
Yeah, because even when she was like giving birth to the baby that passed, I was like, okay, I saw she had a little pooch, but
you're like, are you birth ready? Like, she didn't look birth.
Of course, we know she had the baby prematurely, and that's why it passed.
Yeah.
But that's a lot. Like you had just had a goddamn baby. Your father has now died, and then like now your middle to the oldest or whatever he is now dead too. I was like, that's a lot. That is a lot for that young lady to have to deal with. I'm sure she's gonna deal with it. I'm sure, but that was a lot. And Allison, I just want to choke her to death because no, this is what she does. She flip flops. Right? 1 minute she was at the dinner and she was like, "Oh, we'll be all friends again." You know, she didn't say it exactly like that, but
she did. She said, "Stay. I've missed talking. Let's talk some more." No, she said that's code for let's be friends again.
Yes, and I was like, okay, well that's cool, right? Because women argue, we're sisters, we'll get this together, right? No, this bitch goes ahead and put her little Aegon. And how many goddamn Aegons are going to be in this show?
There's two. There's
two so far.
Yeah, I think there's more coming. That's what I heard. That's ridiculous. But anyway, because it's not a good name. It's a horrible name. Just like Joffrey is a horrible name. But we got one in this show. So I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, yeah, Allison, she deserves a knife to the neck. For sure. Yeah. But anyway, I have my ring.
Knife to the neck. I like that.
Because I
like it.
Bleed out like.
Well, you know what? The other person who deserved the knife to the neck is her father. And when he sails to Dragonstone in the last episode, and he stands there doing his pious looking, sincere acting, using all the words, and I'm convinced that you're right, David. Allison did not. I think you said that when we talked about it. Yeah. Allison did not send that piece of paper. That was all him being manipulated because he's a misogynist, right? And he thinks he can manipulate all women the same way. And he thought, oh, I'll leverage the whole kids friendship thing.
I believe that was Allison because she's the one that ripped out. Only them knew about it. So she ripped out the page to show her sincerity. To be like, hey, let's remember how we started, right? Because Otto showing up, he ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Of all people to send with a peace offering, you send the architect of the betrayal, and everybody knows. Yeah. Everybody knows who's the architect of the betrayal, right?
Yes.
This motherfucker, and that's who you send. That makes no sense.
But also, it's also poetic. Because he's also the one that went to confront Daemon in episode 2 in the same spot when it was like when he was against the crown. So
I got you with the parallel. Yeah.
So I felt it was like that's his job. Like I'm the hand. It's my job to represent leadership and be and say so. I'm same spot, same location. Rhaenyra also flies in again on a dragon to try to resolve the issue, but now it's Otto who's the problem, as opposed to Daemon.
And they should have taken his head.
Yeah.
So I think this is also one of those times. Any prequel they usually
do. You know what? You're right. Maybe I'm a little bloodthirsty. You're right. You can't take somebody's head when they're bringing a peace offering.
No, I'm saying, but like in prequels, they always try to give you those moments of it could have not have been what it's gonna happen, right? And this is supposed to be one of those moments of like, if you listen to Daemon, no, it would have been war if they would have killed him. Like, I mean, but so but the fact that he was like, we give terms. They were pretty generous terms because I mean,
were they? They were generous terms, were they?
From the king's point of view, right? If he's like, I am king, and instead of just murdering all of you for trying to usurp, to go against me, which is treason, I'm giving. You can keep Dragonstone, which is our birthright. You can like it was pretty generous from that point of view, but in that sense,
if he were the legitimate king, yes, it was pretty generous.
Yes. So only we know as overseers that, Daenerys was not in his right mind when he was telling Alicent, of, the dream of Aegon. Like it was a mixed message.
Right.
Exactly. I understand. I'm sorry. I'm saying he's not legitimate because the 2 days before Viserys dies, he once again sits on the Iron Throne and reasserts who his successor is.
Yeah.
It's his last bit of strength that he had.
Yep.
So it's convenient, it's a convenient, so the movie can happen, right? So it's convenient for the dying words and everything, but and I didn't go rewatch that scene. I don't remember hearing him say Aegon, but everybody else says he said Aegon. Okay, so I'm just saying that no matter how you look at it, succession was handled, and who is Aegon, who's claiming to be the king now, is usurping.
And true, I mean, so and again, we know that, but I said
everybody should know that. That should be like unquestioned in the realm.
But I'm saying, but as the writers and directors said, they changed the story purposely to give Alicent some type of legitimacy that she sincerely thought that that's what husband said, and then husband dies. So why did they change it?
Yeah.
To make the same reason they wanted you to know that Aemon didn't want Vhagar to kill his nephew. Like that wasn't him. That was the dragon. Like
so I just saw that scene.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
And before when they're flying through the storm, before
the other boy, the nephew.
The nephew.
The nephew.
That's so sad. I can't remember his name.
It's fucking anyway. No, the strong who didn't make it.
the one who didn't make it. The nephew flies into the I guess what would you call it, valley or whatever, to hide, right?
I got you.
The big dragon tries to chomp down on him, right? Before his dragon fires that flame at him. So I don't know what Aemon was thinking, but he never had control of his dragon that whole time. His dragon was like, pray, kill it the whole time. He might have thought, oh, I'm just chasing my nephew. But that first attempted chomp was right on your tail. Like it,
mm-hmm.
I get the whole thing was that dragon trying to kill the little dragon.
Yeah. So I had to rewatch it again. When I watched it again, I noticed that both of them, both the nephew and the uncle, were talking to their dragons and saying, obey me. Like, I'm the one who's in charge here. Like, stop doing your own thing. And so again, they want to make it seem like it was the dance of the dragons. It was them that were going back and forth. But Aemon, he wanted that eye. He wasn't fucking around. He wanted that eye in that castle.
I thought it was interesting that the actor said at the in the post credits how he's been victimized, but I seem to recall Aemon started that fight.
He did,
and he lost an eye as a result.
That's it.
No one has. There's no victim here. You started some, and you got some in return.
Right.
So again, if I understand the fight. If you go back before that, right, you still got Eamon being the underdog, where his brother and his nephews, were shitting on him.
Yes, so, because he was the only one without a dragon.
So it kind of built up to a thing. Anyway, I'm just saying, like,
I mean, okay, I get it. He was bullied by them previously, and so all that built up, and then that's what happened.
He also lost an eye. I mean, it was his fault. He lost an eye. I mean, they attacked him. He fought. He lost the eye, but he was like, he wasn't playing with the eye. My point is, like, he wanted that fucking eye. Like, that was
he did. He keeps wanting that eye. Like, I'm sorry, go get a therapist. That was years ago. Like,
you don't get over that shit. I'm
not saying get over it, but I'm saying him every 5 minutes wanting to take somebody else's eye. Like, there's something wrong with your brain.
Like, you motherfucker. And then then he chases him.
It's crazy as a mother, but anyway.
So you realize
after Baratheon says you will not fight here, right? So he's an idiot, but he's like, he understands the rules of how this works. He's here as an emissary. And I don't know why. I guess he let Aemon leave, but I guess you can't really stop the guy with the big ass dragon if he wants to leave.
Well, he wanted them both to go. I mean, although he said, just get the fuck out of here. Like, whatever y'all about to do, this ain't gonna be where you're gonna do it. The fact that Aemon took off and waited, like he could have went home, but he was like, nah, this conversation ain't over. So he clearly had intent to mess with his nephew. I mean, clearly,
definitely.
But he didn't want to kill him. But anyway, back to the thing. Rhaenyra.
I think he wanted to kill him. I do. I think he wanted to kill him. He's been wanting to kill somebody this whole time. I legitimately think he wanted to kill him. Maybe once it happened, or maybe as it was happening, and he realized this is out of my control. Maybe he had maybe that's what we saw. But I think, for real, he wanted to kill that dude.
We are getting a different message. But let's get back. I want to get back to me, because it was interesting that you can see how the two sides tried to get the Baratheons on their side, right? So Aemon, I don't know if he showed up on purpose with the whole "I'll marry your daughter." I don't know if that was done on purpose, but he secured that house, as opposed to like Rhaenyra, who sent her son, as he said, with a threat. Like, you're trying to remind me of, like, what are you giving? What are you bringing to the table that I should side with you? Like, she should have thought about that and being like, what can I offer him? Besides, I told your daddy said it, so you should do it. I'm like, it's not a good strategy.
You're right. That lacked strategy. I agree with you. And maybe they really didn't count on him. I don't know. I remember she seemed, this was, I don't know about you two, but this was my first time really seeing, well, not our first time. This is our first time in many years seeing her wisdom and knowledge come out. She understands how all these houses work, right? But we don't really see that much of it. We saw it right after she becomes the heir and she's a cupbearer. We saw her talk a little bit here and there, but this time she had full command of the room and she was just talking through all the houses. It wasn't clear to me, maybe I'm wrong, that she really counted on the Baratheons at all. No, I think she put a lot more into the Starks.
No, she made it very clear those two houses were important, because, like I said, without the North and that, it would become an issue. But like,
no, what I'm saying is, I don't think she counted on, as in, I don't think she really thought she had them. Like, they were gonna live up to their pledge.
I
thought she did. I thought that she did feel like at those two houses at least will back her, right? Okay. And everybody else won't. Those two will. That's what
I was surprised how many houses actually did step up to back her.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting.
It was a long list.
Yeah. But also to your point, I think she overestimated. I think she overestimated their father's oaths, because it's been like 20 years. So even with him, it's like, my daddy said that shit. And like Daemon was the voice of reason. Like, he tried to be the voice of reason, to be like, nah, buddy, like, you need to secure this shit now. You got to reestablish these oaths. And she's like, all right, well, they're sending sons to do that. But let's get back to the table, because I thought the table scene was awesome.
Oh yeah. I guess it was built by the same fire maesters who built the dagger.
I suppose so, but I didn't realize that was the same table that Dany showed up to in the last season. Well, season before last, when she's like,
where the Starbucks cup was.
It could have, yeah, I guess so. Well, like when she landed in Westeros, right, and like her and Tyrion, and they were like setting up the battle table, like that was the table that they were like, how do we take King's Landing, right? And I was like, but it wasn't lit up like it was. Like to see it lit up like that was gorgeous.
It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
And I think it's the contrast of where they started versus where they're going to end up. Like that, like Dragonstone is decimated. It's not lit up like it used to be. Like it's not going to go well for this house. But like then, like they were something. Like Dragonstone were something, and I think they wanted to show that in that scene. But to get there, how do we get there? We got to talk about her taking Queen, right? So the knight shows up with the crown, with her dad's crown, which I thought was awesome. And it's Daemon. I don't remember
him taking it.
Huh?
It
was off camera. It was off camera.
They didn't show it. Yeah,
it was off camera.
I was wondering how he got it too.
Because I'm like,
I know his wife. Didn't his wife put it on top of his body?
It should have been.
Put it on top of his dead, wrapped up.
Yeah, but you know what? They were so busy trying to find the other crown, and find Aemon. They weren't really. She wasn't paying attention to properly burying Viserys.
No.
And actually, one of the other videos I saw said it had actually been a week, not a couple days.
Yeah, it's been a week.
They kept the king's death from everybody for a week.
Yeah.
Because and they don't do a good job of showing time passing, because it makes it seem like all this shit is happening in a couple of days, and it had to take a while for her to. Anyway, she gets the crown. The crown shows up. I like that it was Daemon who anointed her. Like it was Daemon who was like, "You are our ruler." He bows first. Everybody else bows after that. And it's like we acknowledge where we need to be. Like even he acknowledges when he's like, he plays his position. Because episode 1, he was like, "This is my fucking throne." Yeah. And now he's like, "All right, it's my baby's throne."
You're right. He really did play his position this whole episode, except until he tries to choke
shit out of her. You know what I'm saying?
But even as I was watching it, I was trying to reconcile that moment with the way he has acted this entire episode. Because that moment just seemed incongruous. But I think I understand why he reacted that way.
Okay, please explain it to me, because I don't get it.
It was right when Rhaenyra says, she asked him, did Viserys tell you about the Song of Ice and Fire and the prophecy and all that other stuff? Mm-hmm. And that was the one thing about his brother, because I think he actually says that his brother hid behind his weakness behind the dreams and all that. Yeah. And I think he was reacting that way, literally choking it out of her. Like literally, you cannot be that, right? Like, how can she can't be that part of her father right now and win.
Because that's he have weak. Just said it, Jesus, like he was.
Oh no, I'm with you. I'm just saying that's what I think he was reacting to.
but I thought it was the issue that he was upset that his brother didn't trust him enough to tell him. That is from leader to leader, and the fact that he trusted her.
I caught that too.
Over him.
Yeah, so he was never going to
sit the crown.
He was never going to succeed his brother. He was never going to inherit the throne because his brother never shared.
He never thought him worthy. He never thought him worthy. Like at some point, he thought Rhaenyra worthy, and he was like, "Nah, brother. Like this ain't it."
So you choke Rhaenyra, the woman that you're married to, the woman who just had a baby for you that passed away. Like, what the hell's wrong with you, Damon? Like,
I mean, he's something wrong with him, but but at the same time, it was so out of place from the guy who literally stood up. Like, okay, she doesn't want to go to war. He clearly is not afraid to go to war, but he did everything, even though it wasn't what she wanted, to defend where they were.
Yeah.
I mean, someone had to step in, and she couldn't do it. Yeah. She's in there, unfortunately, giving birth to their child.
Yeah.
But it was so notice on one person who did not bow down, and that's what he eats.
I did notice that.
Like,
and they allowed it. I think it was because I think she hadn't made up her mind.
And don't matter.
I agree. I'm just saying I think they allowed it for her to not make up her mind yet. She hadn't even talked to her husband yet.
And these are like I thought it was kind of messed up. But anyway, so let's do Damon. So Damon not only crowns her, he announces her when they get to the war room, right? Like he's trying to be there with them when they're going through their forces, right? Mm-hmm. It's like for him to, again, he's like, we need to fight. Like these are people against. Like that was the first like problem, like that. Like he's arguing with her in front of everybody to be like, we have to go to war. You can't just sit around and let this shit happen, right? And she's still like, no, like we can work this thing out. They wanted to show you there's an opportunity. She and Allison are the only voices of reason in this situation at this moment.
Wait a minute. Let me ask you something. In that war room, I heard what you just said, and I wonder, is that the equivalent of the small council? Yes. And I say this because the small council had debate.
Yeah.
So he wasn't really out of place to have a different opinion than her, because that was the appropriate place to have the debate.
The problem, it was too many people there. Like it wasn't just the key leaders. It's almost like it was. I think if it was a small, like the inner circle, which she hasn't established yet, but it was like the inner circle. I think she would have been more willing to be like, okay, let's talk about this.
Right. Okay.
But with that, like she just got made queen. She's trying to establish her dominance, if you will. He's the one that always gave it to her, and then he's taking it away from her at the same time.
Well, he wants to be the hand still, I think, and he's not very good at it. Yeah. He's not bad, but he's not good yet.
But then again, he sees the future. Like he's like, your dad was not made for this kind of life. Like this is when I'm supposed to be in charge because we got to go to war. And to your point of where is who? She's having the baby. He hears her and he's like, I got to secure this house. Like,
yes,
kids aren't my thing. Fighting.
Well, that's not true. Thing. Well, hold on. Let's look at it slightly differently. All his kids are in that house. Mm-hmm. All of them. He has 4 kids in that house, plus 3 stepkids in that house. He's got to secure that, and his wife. He's got to secure that house. That was more important than being next to her.
Right.
Well, when his other 2 were being born, when his previous wife died, he wasn't there either. Like he was like, hey, like that's
no, but they did change that part of the story from the books.
So and it just and then for him mourning this baby's death, I didn't think it looked good. The fact that how he just moved on from the other child's death, like I thought it should have been consistent to show that he cared for the kids, that it wasn't just a situation. But I think, but he was like, I think again they wanted you to look back on to be like, if she would have listened to like Damon at some level, like a lot of this could have been solved. Like we could have got this thing going and we could have fighting. But also the guy who's like, dragons. Y'all have dragons. Why are we fucking around with people? Like, just bring the dragons. And she's like, nah, I can't go new.
Dragons will kill everybody.
But Damon's like they'll kill all the
everybody to die. Dragons will kill. And you can't, once you tell them whatever that is that they say to them, once you say that to Tara, it's over. It's like, okay, you want me to wipe all of them out, right?
Well, I kind of agree with you there. Like that's your nuclear option.
Yeah.
What? That's your nuclear, and they still have to contend with. I'm sorry, I forgot his name, but the big ass dragon.
That's Vagar. So Vagar, and they still have not acknowledged the size and therefore strength and experience of this dragon. When Damon's like, we got 13, they got 4. They got Vagar.
Yeah, they got Vagar, who is literally 3-4 times the size of his dragon, and Damon has a pretty big dragon.
Yeah.
So they still have not. They should have been like, yo, we go dragon. We got to figure out what to do with this one. Like this is a lot, and like they're not understanding that. They think it's about the numbers. Like they're all the same. And I was really disappointed that even Damon was like, Aemon ain't nobody to fuck with right now.
I still felt like other than the dragons, Rhaenyra actually did come. She moved in Damon's direction when they started talking about. We can surround King's Landing. We can blockade them. Yeah. She was there for that part of the conversation.
Well, that was the Valarians.
Yes.
That was
Well,
him.
once Corliss came on board.
When Corliss came on board, he's like, we got the ocean, we can cut them off. And again, it's that prequel scene where they wanted you to know there was an opportunity for them to win. Like there was a moment, but that shit ain't working out for them. But they want you to know that it could have. But nah. Anyway,
well, then, I guess, I mean, and I haven't read the books as everybody knows, so I don't know. It seemed like a really good plan.
but,
So what goes to shit at this point? Because
I don't know. But
I didn't read the books either. I don't know.
But they're dead as fuck. I just watched another video to be like, Rhaenyra is not winning. Like this is not working out for her at all. And Daemon must be dead before this happens. So like it's a lot. Like I mean, both sides get fucked up, but Aegon wins, like in the big scheme of things. But he's not in good shape, like when it's all said and done. So the house falls. But again, they want to hype it up. They're like, oh, they had a plan. They had a plan. And
a very good plan.
Yeah. So
the only thing that ruins a good plan is a traitor.
Somebody.
That's what I was just thinking in my head just now. Someone's gonna betray them for sure.
Someone has to betray them at this point because they do have strength. They have a lot of houses that following them. Like,
imagine if the person that betrays them is the cousin. Wait, no. Who is she? What's her name?
Oh, Rhaenys? You know what Rhaenys?
Corlys' wife.
Rhaenys.
Yeah.
There are some forced scenes in the finale, and that choking scene. Foreshadowing scene is one of them. That was hard. I mean, choking is light for Daemon. He uses violence to prove his points. Imagine being married to Mike Tyson in his prime. I don't know, Matt Tyson. I mean, I would say more like O.J. Simpson or like Ike Turner. Like these are like proven like domestic abusers. Like Mike Tyson. I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay, no, Mike Tyson did some abusing. Okay, don't even try it. Anyway.
I don't know. I would. Ike is famous. It's
not just Robin Givens who said that man put hands on them. Okay,
the
man's been married numerous times. This last one stuck, but it doesn't mean that he's not putting hands on her. It just means she got that cash. So cash rules everything around me.
You gotta say that. You gotta say that for reasonable doubt. Let's see. Otto Hightower is an evil genius. Rhaenyra should have killed him
for sure.
at Dragonstone. He is all props to this. This is Littlefinger to the next level. Like this is what Littlefinger on the ship from. Because he even much like Aemon, him and Aemon are the same.
I'm sorry, was Littlefinger a Hightower?
No, I don't think so.
It just occurred to me to ask.
It could. I don't know, but I mean, it could be, but I don't know how much their family's going to be around after all this. But I mean, it could be.
I don't think they live. I'm sorry. Damon's got to take Otto's head, even if he dies right after that.
Right,
Damon needs to take Otto's head just for all of us to be satisfied.
Yeah. So, shit. So no. Aemon and Otto are so much alike. Again, Aemon was the one that was giving a compliment to his nephews, but also shitting on them, right? To be like, "Hey, you're strong." To Otto, it's like, "Queen Rhaenyra, you are wonderful, Queen." Oh no, sorry, Princess Rhaenyra.
He did not call her Queen.
Princess Rhaenyra, you are wonderful. We are here for you, Princess. We'll take care of your kids, Princess. And she's like, "You motherfucker." And I was like, but it sounded good. It sounded good. He was more.
He made a point of saying that Aegon has all of the
everything.
What? No, he said they used all the symbols of legitimacy.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very interesting wording because that's what they did because it's not a legitimate. It's because it's illegitimate. Exactly. She doesn't need all of what they did to be queen. That's kind of the parallel they drew, right?
Yeah.
They did all of that because he's not the legitimate king.
Daemon is the dragon whisperer. The black will be okay. The black will not be okay. But
he is a dragon whisperer for sure.
Yeah, he went down and sang to that dragon. I'm like, who the fuck is that dragon?
But to your point that you made last week, and you've been making it, we get to see 10 episodes, and they spent zero time telling us about how the dragon relationship is supposed to work.
Yes.
The fact that he's sang to the dragon and bonded. Apparently, maybe because we don't know, that is the right way to claim a dragon. That and what Aemon did by just making eye contact and just jumping on there wasn't quite it, which is why he doesn't have control of Rhaegar. We don't know because they didn't bother. In 10 episodes, they could have saved some of this bullshit to teach us about.
To be like, in fact, one of the dragon wranglers, like that's their job. Like when Aemon shows up, when the prince showed, let me explain to you how you woo a dragon, how you bond with the dragon, how you share the dragon. Like it goes from air to air. So we're like, oh my god, like it's a beautiful relationship. Why Targaryen? Like
or the Targaryen psychic connection. Give me something, right? They gave us nothing. So finally we see this very charming like moment of Daemon singing to the dragon and the dragon kind of responding, and then the eyeball thing, which was super cool. We don't know what it means. It was just
like you can get on top of me now. You sang me a song. It's like
sing me a song. No one sang me a song in 100 years.
Right? I was like, nobody sang to me. Hey, you know he didn't sing to his wives. He just jumped on top of them. They didn't get songs. Nope. Like, damn it. Where's the foreplay? What's the foreplay? Huh?
He doesn't do foreplay.
I'm like, okay. He can barely.
They're not important. Dragons are important.
Yes.
It's just crazy. He's like, bitches didn't make us kings. Dragons did, bitch. And he was like, oh, that's right. That's my other statement. So I think they didn't show it. I feel like if Daemon was a real person, somewhere in him, he was kind of happy son got it. Because one, it ain't his. Let's just start there. Number two,
I agree.
And not happy kid.
Not happy is not the right word, but
he's okay with it.
He's Otto. When you're strategist, you got to see the opportunity and tragedy. He's like, we got this now.
Yes, exactly. Opportunity and tragedy. Definitely wasn't happy, but he sees the opportunity and he's gonna get what he wants. Get Rhaenyra in the headspace she needed to be, according to him, right? Because she was still in that peace in the realm headspace, and he's like, "Listen, you got to break some eggs, okay? It's gonna be all right."
We got also, and again, go back to the scene. Daemon is the problem. Otto is showing up trying to resolve the situation. Rhaenyra shows up on her dragon. She could have been like, we can do this if you want to, but she tried to be the peacemaker. She worked it out. No blood was shed. She got the eggs. She flew off. Right? Like she's always but that's
not what Daemon doesn't really want that. Daemon's like, give me all of it. Give me,
But I'm saying, but she's been consistent. Yeah, right. Okay, Tom. It's like I want all. Oh, you know what? That would be so perfect. That would be so perfect with the dragons. That would be so awesome. I thought when he was delivering the news, if they would have kept it going just for his point of view, just to be like that, he's like, especially if you talk to that dude, the dude who was like, y'all fuckers got dragons. Why are we talking about people? If he would have talked to him and being like, now the fun begins, right? Like now we're about to get to it. Like that would have been awesome because she went from, it's not about me, it's about the kingdom. It's not about me, it's about what my dad wanted. It's about peace. And then she lost her son, and now she's she's an angry mother who wants to seek revenge for her child. And she's like,
also,
killing everybody.
I think I hate to say I'm team Daemon, but something you just said struck me. She was like, I'm all about peace. That's what my dad wanted. That's the instruction I had. That's not reality of where we are. No. We are not in a peaceful moment right now. So you can't have the headspace of be all about peace right now. Your headspace needs to be where we are at. And where we're at right now is those motherfuckers are going to come and try to kill us on this island.
Yep. That's so in truth,
even that final look that we get at the last scene, which I guess is supposed to parallel when she turns around when she's made as successor. Anyway, that final look could just be resignation to reality, right? To where we are, not trying to be the peacemaker, not I'm the ruler of the 7 kingdoms and I need to keep the kingdoms together. Right now, they're coming for your head. So she's got to be there.
That's it. I think that too. I agree with all of that. And I think Damon, that now that I'm thinking about it, I think Damon choked her because he was like, look, snap out of it. Like, we're not, no, seriously. Like, no, I understand you love your dad and this is the way your dad taught you, but we can't win this way. You got to go this way. And you need to do it now. And someone choking you, that'll make you be like, wait a minute. Oh, okay. Oh, hold up. Okay, I'm listening. I'm listening now. You know what I mean?
I mean, he's not. I guess in real life on Earth where we live, he would have raised his voice, like snap out of it.
No, actually, in this right world, he probably choked the shit out of her too. I mean, like sad to say. I mean, she wouldn't been choked either way. Like it being the person that, again, we haven't seen that actually, so that's another problem. We haven't seen him be that way towards a woman. You know what I'm saying? Nope. So like, if there was
especially not her,
right? So
he's always gentle with her.
Right, so I'm like, it didn't really fit. Also,
it didn't fit.
So Ray needs the bullshit they put into this dialogue when Damon's like, so you just didn't kill these fuckers? Like why are they still alive? And she's like, well, this is not my war to fight, and that's that bullshit because she has said repeatedly to her husband,
yep,
their problems are our problems.
I'm sorry, she's a Targaryen.
She is.
She's a Targaryen.
Yeah.
So
I agree with you. That was some bullshit, but we talked about that before. Why she didn't light some people up at that moment made no sense.
That's why I think she's gonna be the one.
Oh.
She's gonna be the one.
That's
the
bad.
traitor.
Yeah.
She's gonna be the one. Yeah.
Maybe Otto gives her an offer she can't refuse to be like, hey, I can take care of your kids, I guess. I'm saying, but like this, if they're gonna give us a scene at some point that somehow like Rhaenyra and the blacks are winning somehow, and then that'll turn the tide. Like whenever like she snitches or something, somebody's gonna betray them. I agree, but it's gonna be something like Rhaenyra and them are gonna be doing well, and then it's gonna go bad. I
think Coralie is gonna die.
Oh yeah. All those black people gotta die.
No, but I think he's gonna die, and that's what's gonna make her become a traitor, right? Because she's like, now I gotta protect the only family I have left, right? Which is the granddaughters, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Granddaughters, because her kids are dead.
Well, then again, you're right. If the granddaughters die, her reason for being in there goes with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And he's still, or I don't think she thinks so, but her husband still thinks that Rhaenyra was responsible for the son's death.
They both do.
And I don't think she thinks that anymore.
She said that. She said it last week. No, she believes it, but she's trying to get over it. I mean, she's like, there's a bigger issue here. But
I think that's the part that, how can I put this? Maybe I'm just, I don't know. But these people are currently on your side, and you can't tell Corlys because that guy. You can't tell him. But at some point, it makes sense for Rhaenyra to tell Rhaenys that her son's alive.
Why can't you tell Corlys? I mean,
because Corlys is he's not going to accept everything that he barely accepted the fact that his son was gay. Right. He really had, that's just going to turn his ambition on the Iron Throne, and you screwed me out of the Iron Throne, and my son is supposed to be no. And at least Rhaenys would be able to say her son's alive, and she could accept everything else and why it happened and all that other good stuff. I think objectively, but Corlys can't.
I think on camera that should have happened, and that will justify why she off camera got her husband to be like, no. We not only do we need to be in this fight, we need to be on Rhaenyra's side, like that, because it didn't make any sense. And all of a sudden she's like, yeah. Well, we need to get in with them.
Or at least now that they are on Rhaenyra's side, before she goes off to,
defend the coast.
The coast, you tell her.
Yeah. Definitely. Imagine that Vhagar was supposed to be for them little black girls. We talked about that. We understood they're supposed to be handed down, but we still don't know, like, again, the succession of dragons.
Yeah, because they didn't really introduce dragon lore. I mean, not dragon lore, but the dragon ritual to us.
Yeah.
They didn't
haven't really told about it. Yeah.
Speaking of I'll wait for your next comment.
No, I see how Rhaenys showed respect to her husband and didn't make a unilateral decision. We, just like she said to him, we lost everything, not just him. Yeah. He was very self, but she was like, hey, we're a couple. But she said you've always been like this, and sometimes you gotta be like, that's who you married, though, right? So don't act like this.
Yeah, but V-Mom was like that too. His brother was exactly the same way. It's all about me. It's all about my people. They're both they're brothers, right? So they act the same.
And Corliss said it. He said it.
I ask y'all again, where are the rest of the Velaryon black women? Like legit, like black women? Where are them? Where are they?
Where are them?
Where are they? Sorry.
I don't know. I don't get that part. Oh, what we're basically seeing is little girls, right? Those who are becoming women, right? And then you see these two black men, and every now and then you see them sprinkled in somewhere else, but you don't see like abundance of blonde-headed black women. Where are they?
Where are they? They were in
COVID. Like, is that because of COVID? Like, what's happening?
It doesn't make sense, because when they came in for the wedding, it was a crew of them. None of them had lines, but it was a crew of them. I saw them. I was like, oh shit, okay, there are some black Velaryon women. I'm like, what? Just Velaryon women? Like, where the fuck are they? It just irritated me. Let's see. Because the queen with no name doesn't want to become a Kingslayer. Not even Jamie like that title.
Okay, good point. But he's not the king.
It's not also Otto's not the king. So you could knock that with something.
Well,
smart.
yeah, they could have killed Otto, but even Aegon is not the king. So you still could have killed him.
Fair.
Yeah. So I wanted to interrupt and bring up something about the birth of the premature baby.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so I didn't really see it that clearly, but I understand that baby supposedly had dragon scaly skin. There's something about
it was weird looking. Like I paused it, and I've never actually seen a premature baby like when it first comes out, so I don't know what they really look like. I guess I could Google it, but I don't want that in my head. So it did look weird. It kind of looked like not like a combo, like a dragon and a human.
So that's what I was hoping you'd say, because I was talking to David about this last week, and I seem to recall that Dany's child, they said, was deformed before it was premature when it died.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering if not wondering, I kind of, as I said to David a few days ago, I was really excited by the fact that we're finally in this story introducing some mysticism, some magic. Game of Thrones had that everywhere. And we've seen, this has mostly been a medieval story with dragons, right, in it so far. No magic, no something that sets Westeros apart from medieval Earth, right? So I hopefully they pay that off in season 2.
I think if the baby was half dragon, they would have showed it like illustrate, like
they
clear,
showed
like
it a lot more than I thought that they would, though, because normally when babies die, right, they kind of just show you a blanket, right, maybe a flash, right, they might do a flash. They showed her wrapping the baby, they showed the baby come out, right. Then they showed, which was a close up on the baby, right. It was gross. I mean, if I had to, it is gross, but and then they showed the baby when she was wrapping her own baby, like mummifying her own baby. They don't normally do that, and so I think the close up was on purpose, because the head was just, and also too, Damon is her uncle, right? So we're gonna expect to have some deformed children, right?
Yes.
So,
but that child just looked a little too scaly. I don't know if it's deformity.
I thought
it goes. I mean, she was having a flash of a dragon, and you actually heard the dragon scream when she was screaming.
Yes.
So I just thought that means something. I don't know what it means.
It was mystical. It was mystical for sure.
Yeah.
I think
Sorry,
in the
David.
book, I think if I was saying in the book, it's very like detailed that the baby did come out like dragon like whatever.
Okay.
I don't
Oh,
I
it
don't know.
was.
I think
Okay.
I do believe somebody said something like that in the book, but I think again I think they were just going for a miscarriage. Like they like you know like I don't if they wanted that they would have showed it so we can all like see it like together. But the whole wrapping of the baby I thought was important just to be like we're gonna take time. And like again, time is passing. How much time is passing between birth, burial, like burning and everything? Like that takes time. So are we talking days? Are we talking weeks? Like how much time?
No, I think you're talking hours.
Hours, basically hours.
Hours.
Labor. It all depends on the woman. But labor. My first son was 34 hours. Right. The second one was 18.
And she wasn't in labor that long.
No.
And she gave birth to, unfortunately, a premature stillborn child. So I think you're talking hours, really.
Yeah.
Well,
and I think part of the message or part of they were trying to show you is kind of the fact that she was going through steps as quickly as possible to get into the room where she should be leading. She was not taking her time. She, had the baby, took a moment, held the baby, wrapped the baby, buried the baby. And I think that is supposed to be literally within a few hours of all that happening so that she can take command.
Yeah. And that's great. But that for me showed a woman's strength. That for me, I was like, that's a woman's strength because men, not that I'm saying you guys are weak, but men could not function. What happens to a woman's body when they have a child is unfreaking believable. You are exhausted, whether you have a C-section or whether you give birth. That is the most exhausting thing you will ever go through in your entire life. And this woman went through that, right? You had to give birth to a dead child, right? That's a mind fuck right there, right? And then now you hear your father, who you love, is dead. Then you know what I'm saying? It's just so much that she had to go through. But she took the moment. I need to hug this baby. I need to bond with this baby, even though the baby's gone. I need to wrap my own baby when she has people who can do that. She went through her labor by herself. They kept saying to her maids or whatever, we can help you. We can help you. We can help you. She was like, no, let me do it. The strength that they showed, I loved it. I thought that was a phenomenal scene. I thought that was one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, I like, and that's what, and they said that when the show began, they really wanted to focus on women's roles and this type of stuff, which is why you saw all this stuff in graphic detail. Plus, like the breastfeeding stuff and the milk and all that stuff, like they were made like this, like they went through this shit. Yeah, and I was like, and so it was an important moment because again, like she said, she's trying to take care of her own stuff, and then like again, at some point you got Damon, who again his own role is like, hey, we got to secure the house, right? Like I got my role, right? Like, but even then, like you said, she's like, I'm going through this shit, but son, you go out there and you tell them shit don't happen until I say it happens. And
I like that.
Because she's a boss.
And the fact that she chose her son, the next in line, to take responsibility. But you're right, yeah. So just so that they understand, including my husband, your uncle.
That it's here, buddy. It's me and then you. It's me and then you. Like your uncle daddy is not on this list. Like he just hanging out. All right. Yeah. So Uncle Daddy. That was a good show.
That was a good show.
It was a good show. But then it got off track.
It did, but it was still a good show.
It was
entertaining. It was entertaining.
The umbilical cord was wrapped around the neck of the baby, thus the close-up, blue and covered in white film, like babies when they come out. It was stillborn. Yes, dragons are magical enough for me, but clearly the red witch / white woman is around. Might show up in season 2. Also, we gotta.
That would be sweet.
Yeah.
But I think. We got to remember, we're remembering the later seasons. Like season 1 Game of Thrones was pretty fucking boring. Like, you saw the White Walker every once in a while, but they pretty much just marched their happy asses from north to south. And that took almost the whole damn season. So, and then, Dany got raped, you know what I'm saying? And then she fell in love with her rapist. But that was pretty much season 1. And then she gave birth to a dragon at the end of that season. Boom. Like, we are remembering the cool stuff and being like, that's Game of Thrones. No, that took time to.
Well,
so
I
like
guess,
the fact they're
And
shoving
they
so
sped
much.
this up. Like everything is, you know.
Yeah, they're like, but then again, we cared about those characters. We cared about those kids. We cared when they died because we saw them over seasons and we saw them grow up. And these fuckers, I'm like, I don't even know your name, bro. So let's just keep this thing moving.
I mean, I personally care about Rhaenyra. I think I care about her because
but that's
the longest progression that
exactly.
we've seen.
Name the kids.
Oh, absolutely not.
See, all right.
I mean,
so let's not.
I understand what you're saying, but for me, the picture behind me says it all.
Yeah,
that is who you should be focused on because she is in the middle. She's got a dragon behind her. It's House of Dragon. She
And
is
I'm
the
sorry.
dragon mother.
Which dragon is that behind her?
I don't know.
It's exactly.
To me, they're all kind of. One is a little reddish. I think one is a little greenish, and then one's gray, right?
Yeah.
The problem is I can't keep their names together. So yeah, that's a problem. But
I'm just curious about that.
But even in the original Game of Thrones, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of characters we were like, what? But I mean, but the ones that we knew that we saw every day, like the kids we knew, like so because we watched them, we watched Sansa and her family grow up, and we were like, oh, and they meant so. But like when they jump, like it's like again, we want to get to the Battle of the Dragons. There's a lot of backstory, so they got to do something. They got to be like.
So is this season the end of backstory?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, shit gonna get real next season. But the thing is, if the story is the fall of the house, then it should run through the entire
We should get to the Mad King.
Well, again, but so I said, what is the end game? If this is just the battle between Aegon and Rhaenyra, that could be that could be season 2 and be done with it, and then we move on to the next part of the family.
But if this is about the fall of the Targaryens, we have to get to the Mad
King.
At least we have to get to
his birth. At least,
yeah. I mean, enough so that we know he's crazy, or maybe he wasn't crazy. Maybe he was just obsessed with the same. I've always thought that maybe he was just obsessed with the same prophecy of the
ice and fire, and he was like, I gotta like the North is coming, and I'm the only one that knows. So it's like,
how many seasons do you think it'll be?
5.
Because this one was very rushed. It's gonna be 5.
If it's HBO standard is 5 seasons, and this is a very successful show.
Yeah, but you've already sped this up, right? So the next season, are we gonna have a different actress, an older actress, like for Rhaenyra, and everybody else is gonna be aged? What is gonna happen there?
Well, if the battles, the reason we did this is because we had to get to her ready to fight, and that's her now. So
right. So okay. So in the beginning, it's gonna start with her as we see her now.
Yeah.
So are they all of a sudden, by the time they get to episode 3, are they gonna do another time jump? You know what I'm saying? Like
I don't know how long. You would have to read the books. We don't know I don't know how long the battle lasts of that. Her and Aegon going back and forth. I don't know how that lasts. So they probably got enough material. They could easily make this about 5 seasons. Just them two. And then I hope that they age, but they easily could do that. Like HBO 5 years. That's probably max. But let's say she's 3 seasons, right? Let's say her and Aegon are 3 seasons. Now it's Aegon and his shit. But I don't know what happens in his reign that we would care. Like how far further down do they fall?
Yeah,
I mean, we have to see the Valyrians all. Sadly, the Valyrians don't make it to Game of Thrones. That entire house and all of those people are gone.
All the boats, everything.
That has to happen.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
And that's all we know right now, as far as all these other houses. The high towers die off because we don't hear about them in Game of Thrones.
Have to.
Yeah.
Right. High towers have to go.
And there are quite a few high towers. So I don't know. I mean, maybe Vagar goes to work, but someone has to kill all these high towers.
So that's what I'm saying. If it's a true prequel, right? All these new shit, like I said, all the new shit has to go because you didn't see that they're not one of the main houses. So all that shit has to go somewhere, and that could take seasons. I mean, there's probably at least one more time jump. There might be actresses again. How old she is, I don't know. I
don't know. We'll see. I don't think the time jump will between this episode and the first episode of season 2. Maybe there'll be a time jump somewhere in season 2.
Yeah.
But we haven't really seen the start of the war. We've seen the start of her no longer being interested in peace. So we haven't seen the start of the war. And Vhagar also has to die.
All the dragons. All of them. So Sunfire, at least in the video that I watched, when somebody was reading the book, Sunfire, Aegon's dragon, he's all broken. He's broken. Aegon is all fucked up, but he's alive enough to feed Rhaenyra to Sunfire before. So that's how that happens. It's the dragons get dwindled down to a handful. Until they're just eggs. Which what Dany has, the 3 eggs that Dany has. So that
we know of, because we don't really see all of the 7 kingdoms, and they make a point of saying how they're unclaimed dragons, just like the one Daemon went to go sweet talk.
Oh yeah,
living in this cave all this whole time. So
they won't show it. Whoa. The show cut a bunch. Neither are gone. Which are neither? They won't.
Neither who's gone.
Show is going for spectacle. Sunfire was supposed to be at the coronation, and they changed that. Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
So the story could happen, right? Right. But we have. I would say for the dragons that matter, Vhagar, Sunfire, they're gonna play major roles. They need to give them character. They need to be like, this is this dragon.
So we need to see them. At least.
You give a fuck. So you can be like, oh,
the only one we care about so far is Vhagar.
Yeah, that's it.
Daemon's dragon is no joke, because Daemon's dragon and Daemon have the same personality. But so that's it. The rest of the dragons, you're right, we really don't know them, anything about their personalities or anything like that, and they do have them. So
so it'd be interesting to see that. All right, come on, we gotta wrap this up. Kim, anything what do you want to see in season 2?
Unfortunately, we know how it ends, but I'd like to continue to see her be a boss, Rhaenyra, be a boss. And I know this will sound weird, but I want to see Daemon's really bad side. I just want it all to come out. You just reveal it all.
Not domestically.
Anyway, right?
Not domestically. You mean external?
External, not towards his wife. No, but let it out. Let him be the man that he wants to be. Right? He likes war. He loves war. So let him do what he got to do, and she stay, back and take care of the babies or whatever, But he has to, and at times we know he's not going to listen to her. But and I want to see the arguments between them, because I like their chemistry. I love their whole. I'm not agreeing to the fact that they got together. That was just disgusting to me, because that's her uncle. But anyway, I understand how it goes back then. But I enjoy their banter. I enjoy the way that they, even when they start talking in their language, it's a romance. The way it just flows between them, and I like to see those things going on. I really would need Alicent to get a knife to the eye, like her son. I'm serious. I can't stand. She is a devious wench. It's horrible what she's done. All of this could have probably been worked out if she was just not, her and her dad were just so, they're power hungry. They are, because they don't have what Rhaenyra has, which it's her birthright, right? And Alicent, I believe, has always been jealous of her, even when they were friends, right? And I don't like jealous women. I know it's in our nature to be jealous, but don't pretend to be my friend and then backstab me, later on. And that's what Alicent is doing constantly. She puts the knife in and she takes it out. I was just playing. Oh, sorry. Okay. It's horrible. So anyway, I want her to go. I want Otto to really die. Maybe chop his head off. I could see that. Yeah, that would be great. I would love to see that. Yeah. And Aegon, he doesn't even know what to do. He's like when they made Joffrey king. Yeah. Remember, Joffrey had no clue what he was doing. The mama, his mother was the king. basically.
And I think
And his
that's what you'll
grandfather.
end up seeing in season 2. That Allison is really
the king.
The king.
Grandfather did that shit because he was the hand.
Right. Otto's gonna.
No. I mean, Joffrey's grandfather. Like that.
Yeah.
That's like he was the one that was like, "This what you need to be." Like Cersei was there, but Dad was in charge.
Oh yeah, Dad was in charge right by then.
He ran all that shit until he got killed on the toilet.
That was great though.
Then mama had to step up, but like Daddy was like, "Look, he was just signing letters one day." He's like, "What you doing? Nothing. I just fucking killed the Starks." I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, that was awesome. That was all boss right there. He was like, "Oh no, they're dead. Don't worry about it, son. I took care of it." I was like, "Oh, boss." I was like, I want a whole prequel just on him. I was like, he's awesome. Anyway, Sparker, what you got?
What I want to see. I would like to see Rhaenyra take some blood. Like, I thought that, if the hunting scene in, what was that, episode 2 or 3 with the pig, that needed to be some foreshadowing. If she kills Otto, I will feel fine. I will feel good about that. Like, give me something. Definitely that would be good. I obviously don't want to see the little black girls die. I would like it if they just kind of sail off and like their brother, maybe he comes back just to get his nieces, right?
Yeah.
Just to get his nieces, and he spirits them away. I'll be good with that. Yeah. I gotta tell you, I'm probably in the minority. I am not looking forward to dragon on dragon violence. I'm just not.
I don't want to see that.
I love the dragons.
Yeah, me too.
The idea that they're going to be eating and killing each other is angst for me. So if we can keep that to like a minimum, that would I'm just saying, I can't do it.
I got you.
I can't do it. No. But otherwise, I don't have any like real expectations as far as like, oh, we've got to see this, got to see that. No, that's not true. One, I want to see some magic. Bring magic back.
This ain't Lord of the Rings, but we'll see what we can do.
I mean, it doesn't have to be all magic, but there was magic before. There was a little bit, and we can have a little bit. I mean, the fact that dagger killed the Ice King in the first place is magic, so they can have a little something.
They could have something. But I mean, we got magic expectation on that. For the little girls, I love the Beyonce moment of Rhaenyra walking up to the battle room, and she brought her the young little ladies with her. Like, come on! And they all stood there. I was like, oh, who run the world, girls? I was like, oh, that was cool. The future is not. It's gonna be a great journey. We already know the destination. It's gonna be a great journey. We got to be on board for the journey.
I keep wondering if they're gonna switch it up a little bit. I just do, I do. I wonder if they're going to switch it up a little bit.
They will change things just like any, adaptation of the. They already did, as pointed out in the comments. But
because clearly not all the Targaryens die, because there's random Targaryens by the time we get to the first season of Game of. So they're not all dead.
Yeah, but the arc is the arc. Like it's something like there's certain things that just has to happen. Like how they get there is a different thing. They gave the black girls one line combined.
yeah, we could stand to have a few more words.
Like, damn, here's your wine, massive. That's fucked up. Even someone said even Damon knows the Lannisters can't be trusted. What a terrible house. But they come up. They come up like
they come all the way up because they
through deception.
Yes,
and they come up because of the manipulation of the Baratheons, not because they ever got the upper hand on the Targaryens.
Where's the Iron Bank? Like, remember what the Game of Thrones was so interesting.
There's like no money being spent anywhere.
They made us care about the most benign shit. That they're like, wars cost money. We got to go get a loan. How's our credit? I thought there
was somebody at the council who handled the money.
No, I mean like big one. No, like when Cersei went to war that last time, she had to go get a loan. I mean, that was a whole episode. Like there was a couple episodes. I'm like, only Game of Thrones have us sitting around going, how much is this shit costing? We have to raise some taxes. Can I lease this dragon? How much is that?
That's a good point. At no point is Rhaenyra concerned about coins.
Neither
and that
one
whole
of them.
conversation about what we have as our assets. No one says anything about maybe there's a bunch of money already at Dragonstone when they left King's Landing the first time.
I just
don't know.
No one's talking about that, and that was and the whole the monk place where all the books and shit are at, like where the chubby kid went. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like that's
where the maesters are trained.
Yeah, like that was a whole.
But see, once you start bringing this stuff up, David, I start thinking of all the other things that are missing. For example, when Rhaenyra leaves King's Landing the first time, at this point it's been like 10 years. You're trying to tell me that after 10 years in Dragonstone, knowing full well what the Hightowers were up to, she didn't raise an army that whole time. Really?
Don't make no sense.
You brought it up. I mean, these are
I would be like, wait.
These are things that, like, when you really start to dig into the details, you're like, hold on a second. She's been here 10 years. Yeah. Why aren't there? She should have an army.
She should have bought an army. Like Cersei
she should have bought an army.
She would be like, I bought these. I got the elephants. I bought the elephants.
And it's an island. So why doesn't she have a mini navy? It's been 10 years. She should have a mini navy.
She said, "Husband, we need bring your lover. We need every sword we can get our hands."
Yeah. So she said that when she left, then didn't do shit after that.
And didn't do shit. Just, I was like, this don't make any sense.
That doesn't make any sense.
Damn it, Spark. Why you gotta bring up sense? Why you gotta be like,
sorry?
This doesn't make sense.
It was your fault when you brought up the Iron Bank. It popped in my head. I was like, wait a minute. Because
Cersei was making. Oh, also the harpoons. The thing that took down Dany's dragon, the first dragon.
Right. Because they brought that back from.
They're like, this is old technology, which means at some point in this battle of the dragons, they're gonna find the harpoons. They're gonna make them. They have to. Right. They have to make them.
Well, you know what? As much as I don't want to see dragons die, at least most of the dragons will probably die that way and not from dragon on dragon violence.
Nah, it's gonna be a lot more dragon on dragon violence. So I mean, you may get one or two, may get to harpoon.
I think the majority of her dragons will probably go by harpoon. I'm gonna call it.
Yeah, it's not sexy. I say it's not sexy. Vagar's fucking up at least 3 of them by himself. I say by himself. Or
that's how they kill Vagar.
That's there you go. There you go.
That's how they kill Vagar.
They finally figure out Vagar is the problem, and they're like, we gotta go get the harpoons.
That's some shit Daemon would do.
There you go. Yeah. Somebody figures out the harpoon shit. The monk place is called the Citadel. The Hightowers run that city. That's right. I heard that. The Hightowers.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because Otto was he's a trained maester, like something. Yeah. Okay.
That's why he got sense. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you guys for so much for watching. I think we got like 2 years before season 2 comes out. Like it's
they didn't.
Westworld is next year. That's how they did it. It was Game of Thrones, then Westworld. Hey, it takes time to put this shit together.
I thought they did a Lord of the Rings where it just kept shooting the whole.
They don't got $1 billion like fucking Amazon. And they got many other shows. You know what I'm saying? Like Amazon only got a couple shows. Like HBO is HBO. You know what I'm saying? We got Westworld costs $1 billion, damn near. Everybody calls technology.
Okay. We'll all try to still be invested in 2025 when it comes back out.
You coming back. And that's why they're making 5 seasons. They're like, they put all the effort to it. Like
maybe they'll shoot 2 seasons then instead of just 1. Maybe they'll shoot 2 seasons.
You hope.
Nah.
I hope.
Sorry, buddy. They do 5 3-hour episodes and be like 2 3-hour episodes. That's what they do. Hey, we chopped this season down. Like 3 big movies and we out. I was like, anyway, guys, speaking of being out, Sparker, thank you much for joining us. If you are welcome to join any of the other shows if you happen to catch those. But Kim and I, we got to get to, oh my God, Reasonable Blackness on Onyx.
Maybe I can do, I was thinking of binge watching Andor, and maybe I could just do a quick Andor one.
I'm not doing that one.
You don't have to do it. Nope. You don't have to do it. I could do it.
I said, but it's like not how the channel works. Like I said, but I said we gotta be together. I can't do it.
You can ask me questions and I can answer them.
All right, you better have a good story. All right, so I think Chris if Chris watches it, then we make a team and we can do that. Okay, I will consider it. Please find somebody else, and I will keep
that. Shouldn't be hard.
I canceled in Disney Plus today because I was like, nah. Like I'll be back.
Oh, damn.
I'll be back when Marvel comes back, but I ain't watching the Star Wars.
Actually, yeah, because they're sending everything to the movies now.
Yeah,
so you don't really.
Only Black Widow. They fucked the woman. It was beautiful. I was like, dude, they fucked the white woman. Think about it.
I'm just saying they're sending everything to the movies now. You saw Black Panther, so
only Black Widow got screwed like that. Anyway, we gotta get screwed. We gotta get to Jax. But